me feeling like I'm academics. Can't
Closing statements and jury instructions will be given out tomorrow, and then we'll get like a verdict hopefully tomorrow. Now let me have Shorty here give the breakdown of what happened. Here we go.
All right, we are done with another trial day and everyone is back tomorrow. We should have a verdict tomorrow. Closing arguments are done and rebuttal is almost done. Megan's lawyer is going to finish his rebuttal tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and then the jury should begin deliberating after the judge instructs them. I thought Milagro's lawyer had the better closing. He really focused on the law and went through the actual statements that are alleged to be defamatory. Her talking about Megan being untruthful or uncredible witnesses in Tory Lanez's trial. Milagro testified for a couple hours this morning, and then they also had Megan back on the stand to ask her about her commenting to people outside the courthouse, which the judge ruled was in violation of a gag order. So I actually got brought up. Milagro's lawyer, Jeremy McLymont, was trying to counter Megan's testimony that she thought she was talking to a fan or a hottie, as she said, by pointing out that I was there. And he was like, you know Megan Cuniff? And Megan was like, well, I don't know her personally, but I feel like I saw her there. And that was pretty much it. She wasn't on the stand for much longer after that. It was a lot of testimony from Milagro this morning and then closing arguments. And if you guys go to legalaffairsandtrials.com, you can read all
right. So it's the drama is still never ending. Apparently, this is like a back and forth thing, like many trials are, because when we listen to people that go to these trials, they'll be like, "Oh, Meg completely killed Milagro today on the stand or whatever," and it'll be primarily based off, well, it's their turn to interrogate a witness. When Milagro's lawyer goes, a lot of times the sentiment goes in the opposite way. So today, apparently, they dealt with a lot of the issue is Milagro and people like her media. By the way, if she's deemed media, they got to throw out the case. Also, kind of hammering down on some of the things of what the hell in terms of, was she speaking out of turn, or is everything she said has some type of veracity, or she believed it at the moment? And not gonna lie, most of the stuff kind of came favorable in terms of how I was watching these update pages kind of say what happened. They're saying that Milagro looked good today. Milagro looked good today. Now, Quinn Emanuel, who pays and bills out the ass for attorney fees, and apparently this judge who has been accused of being very biased and partial to Rock Nation's like agenda, maybe it won't matter, but people are saying that Milagro looked like she has a punching chance. It's like, yeah, she's not the favorite, but she has a fighting chance of being found not guilty, but not guilty specifically for, and I think people care about this one charge, which is defamation. Because again, if it's ruled that a person could defame someone just because they talk about them a lot or they give their opinion about them, well, celebrities could sue fans all the time. Remember, they're also trying to say Milagro's not media. So they're trying to look at her like a fan. They're like, yo, you're just this overzealous fan that's been utilizing your platform to spew hate and make people not like her. If she's found guilty of defamation, that's going to set a precedent for what entertainers could sue people about if they're criticized. And it doesn't only have to be media. It could be anybody. There's a Twitter page constantly talking shit about you, constantly put you in a negative light. Maybe that negative light has contributed to you losing some money, you having some mental anxiety. You could sue. Wait, what's the name of this guy? I'm gonna give you a better. Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, Byron Dennis. That's his name. Armand wasn't in court today, so the update was a little bit different. What's the name of this guy? Mr. Byron Dennis. Okay. So the update from court was here we go. What the fuck? They shared it today. Oh, here we go.
So remember, she did the HBO special, and as you guys recall earlier, she had testified before that she was described as being a reporter. But when you look at the actual screenshot of it, it shows that the HBO actually label her as, they didn't label her as a reporter. So they pull up for her to refresh. She said, I know I was called a reporter somewhere in that documentary. So they let her listen to it to refresh her recollection on whether she was called a reporter. Basically, Megan Kunis, she was over there on fire at that gallery looking like, so y'all just gonna let her what is this? So Megan Kunis, apparently they were asking her a question, and she said, yeah, there have been many reporters, not your non-traditional reporters, I guess, that have been here too covering this trial.
Now, I know some of y'all be like, yo, Ack, why do you care? And there's a couple of bitch ass, pussy ass niggas online. They be like, yo, Ack, you nervous, you gonna get sued. Nigga, I don't give a fuck who sued me, nigga. Fuck it. He's like, I don't give two fucks. I do just care about, because I'm never gonna conform to these traditional media standards, right? But I do believe that what I've done and what I've represented in hip hop and what I think all these other people that I feel we're all in the same realm, I think we're media. And that's important to me, right? Like, that's very important to me, right? Like, you know what I mean? We have people we're making more than most media corporations. We have significant voices. Like, yes, at times, could there be more media responsibility? Yes, but like, to try to dismiss what we're doing is not media. Like, I think it's not useful for not only the public we serve, but also it's trying to like take advantage of the laws that exist on the book for media. You know what I mean? Like, in the Constitution, it says there should be freedom of press. And the people who have lost market share, lost power, lost money, they want people like me, Armand, Milagro, Vlad, No Jumper, Joe Budden. They want us to be almost like, they want to have that gotcha thing of, oh, we like, y'all ain't like us. And it's like, no, this is where people are getting their news from. Would you say, I think that Cameron and May should have their sport media credentials. Why? Bro, I go to their show to kind of hear about what's going on in sports. So it's like, people are stuck on these old type of ways. And that's why I kind of care about this topic more than anything else. And Meg Thee Stallion, especially, they're trying to put forward this thing that, hey, if you're an independent new media person, you're basically a stalker. You're a fan. And I think that's the most belittling thing in the world.
Trial. So she said she interpreted that to mean that she was being recognized by legacy media as a reporter. I was like, Megan was looking like, what? So y'all just come and think that. He was over there in the corner like, what? Y'all hit the like button. So then she also said that she stopped paying her attorney. So she started crying. Like she said, the Jeremy hasn't been paid because she doesn't have it. She wish she did, but he believes in her cause. So that's why he's continuously doing it. And she was crying and stuff.
Jeremy's a new guy. He's a new lawyer. He's kind of good.
Very teary. And then the two young ladies that came on, they also are not getting paid, that just came on. So she was saying that she's not able to pay them. Tory's not paying them. Unite the People's not paying them. They just basically, she was showing that she don't really got the money to be funding this case. It's just that she got people that's willing to do this for her because of this.
So Milagro is telling him, I ain't got money. And by the way, that's a good strategy because if she does lose as a case, it's going to get to the part of damages. You don't want to be like, I got all the money in the world, right? Like, you want to be like, I'm broke. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got shit anyway, that they could at least assess damages maybe appropriately, that it could be less than maybe if they think you have $1 billion.
So they asked her, was she present at any of the evidentiary hearings? And she was like, no. So they don't know why. She doesn't know why certain information might have been left out or why it was admitted. And then also that the tweet from Megan Cuniff where she was saying about the LAPD that she had basically knew she made a mistake and she walked it back when she found out about that she may have said the wrong thing. So they talked about, well, with the code of ethics, she was abiding by the code of ethics when she had done that. So then they said, well, how long was this go to my likes post up? And she said only about 15 minutes, if that much, about the go to my likes. And they asked her, why was she talking about Meg? She said, because Meg just stay in the media. She keep doing, it's like she stays in the media. That's why we keep talking about her. And then they showed that, I guess, she wasn't the one where they showed the screenshot where it said you can watch this in my Twitch or wherever. She was sharing from somebody else's Facebook page who had the link, and on the front cover of the picture it had the emoji to cover her body. So she was like, that was the one that she showed and reviewed. It wasn't like she showed the one of her being covered. It wasn't the one with her body. You don't see any private parts. So she did her commentary on the redacted version. So they said on the audio, so that's one of the things that keep getting played where she keeps saying, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a reporter. I never said I was an MF reporter. Where y'all get that from? Da 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 da. She said that what she meant was she's trying to be put in a box. People are weaponizing it, the word by the title. And not everything is not meant to be journalistic. Some things are entertainment. And you do your own research. You do your own research just like you would do, with traditional reporter. So she gave her definition. She said, this is traditional versus new media. She said she feels like journalists are the people that are on the ground asking questions, gathering information. It could be for months, days, weeks. And they do this on everyday topics. The reporters are the people in front of the camera. So they take the information from the journalists and then they go on camera and they tell about it. And she said, new media are elements of both, but you add entertainment. And that's what we have to have, something special about us to make people want to watch us. And YouTube and Twitch and all of those are just platforms that have allowed us to have a voice. And she also mentioned that people don't trust media like that, trust legacy media like they used to, because they are biased. And some people lack the trust in the legacy media. And she says she does fact check. And then she said, well, aren't there bloggers here today that are covering this case? She's like, yes. Just because you're friends with someone, does that mean that you can't report in a fair way? And she said, oh, absolutely, I can still report in a fair way. She mentioned Jason Lee is cool with Rihanna. And she said, they don't always say, they loud over here, hold on. She said, they don't always say nice things about Rihanna, but they still go out, hang out, have dinner, drink, do all of that. Well, I don't want to say drink. Let me scratch that. But she was saying they hang out and they go out to dinner at the end of the day, but he reports what he has to. So just because you're friends with somebody, because obviously she's friends with Tori, doesn't mean that she's gonna be biased about it. So that's what she was saying. So
All right, I think y'all got the gist of it. We'll see in what the verdict ends up being tomorrow. I think this is an interesting case, and I hope Milagro wins. Not gonna lie, right? Okay, cool. What is this right here? It's a Rod Wave had like a turkey giveaway, but he ended up start paying niggas to take their shiesties off. What the hell?